Hi everybody, this is Lucid Layla, and today I am contacting you through a podcast format. And that is because I feel very guilty. I haven't uploaded any content in a very long time, no videos. And that is because there has been a lot of a lot of things going on in my private life, which unfortunately had the priority. But I want to continue to discover content with you guys and upload stuff, so I'll try out a new podcast format which will take me less time recording and editing. So today's question is, why should I start to learn how to lucid dream? What are the benefits of lucid dreaming? Or why did I get into lucid dreaming? And I would like to approach this question from a very, very personal point of view. There's many aspects of lucid dreaming and how you can approach lucid dreaming. Some people, they approach it from a spiritual point of view. Some people, they do it for the mere fun of it. Some people do it as a religious practice in Tibetan Buddhism, for example. It's called dream yoga or the yoga of clear light. And there's a lot of good resources to read about that, and also Robert Waggoner, one of the very renowned book authors in the world of lucid dreaming, will publish a book about that topic soon. And then there's just some people that are curious, or they're just experimenting, and for me it's personally a mix out of all of those. I started lucid dreaming as a child naturally, because I had a lot of nightmares, and lucid dreaming was just a very natural coping mechanism of turning negative dreams into something that I could control or escape from, or even turning it into a positive learning experience or an uplifting flying experience. And that's how a lot of people come to lucid dreaming. But for years and years, it took me literally at least 20 years, from my birth, because I'm not that old, to realize what can you actually do when you have a lucid dream. When I used to have them naturally or organically, I never really did any experimentation with it, and that was kind of a waste. I don't know why. I guess I thought about stuff that you cannot do in real life, such as dying and then living again, like in a movie. It's interesting how people die or get killed in, the most crazy or creative ways. So what I did as a child, which sounds very, very bleak and dark, but what I did was essentially just jumping from roofs or jumping from cliffs and just experiencing that final fall and death and going through that transition and then finally waking up. That's also kind of interesting because a lot of people say they cannot die in dreams, and I would have to disagree with that, because I can totally die in dreams, and I have experienced that, from the act of getting killed or killing myself to lying on the floor, seeing how the lights go out, and the slight gradual sensation of losing senses of smell, sight, all that stuff. Wow, I just saw crazy lighting in the sky because I'm driving home right now. So death is definitely something you can experience in lucid dreams, and for me, I guess lack of creativity or really thinking about it always attracted me to that. I guess maybe I had a bleak childhood that also, that make me want to outlive maybe things that I wanted to do when I had difficult times in my childhood. And lucid dreaming, as sad as it sounds, gave me a safe realm to explore things in a safe way without having to kill myself in the real world. And it's weird, it gives you first of all, it's an incredible experience that you cannot have in real life. And second of all, it gives you some liberation. You can kind of create an alter ego, a different personality. You can do things that you would never do in real life. Maybe there's something that's really scaring you that you have to do, or you're gonna have to face, such as a breakup, or starting a new career path, or finally telling someone the truth, how you really feel about the way they treat you or something like that. And lucid dreaming really offers you an amazing playground for practicing something like that in a safe environment, because it's essentially happening in your own mind. Or if you're coming more from a spiritual perspective, maybe part of lucid dreaming is happening in a different realm that is, non-material, and what's really happening in lucid dreaming is more of an out-of-body experience where your soul or your spirit is interacting with other non-physical entities, I shall say. Anyways, those are some really cool things about lucid dreaming to keep in mind. That's kind of general. And another really amazing thing that really grasped my attention initially to lucid dreaming was after having lucid dreams for years and actually thinking that was natural for everybody, I saw a video of Robert Wagner on YouTube where he talked about some experiments that he conducted with lucid dreaming. Essentially really sitting down before you go to bed and thinking about things you want to access from your subconscious mind, information, guidance, connecting with your higher self, connecting with your inner child, reliving past experiences in a real-time 3D 360-degree simulation. Basically, you would not be able to get a more realistic simulation than a lucid dream. I mean, right now with technology and everything, we have VR and 360-degree videos, and we have drone shots, and we have live video streams. All of this is amazing, and people are enthusiastic about it. But if you think about it, lucid dreaming is like a real life experience, only in a different realm that's not limited by any rules really, other than the limits of your own mind and your own creativity. And from my childhood, my normal dreams that were not lucid, all of those always tended to be really crazy, always happening in very colorful, insanely creative, fantastic, magical, fairy tale-like worlds of, dragons and flying carpets and mountains. I see the most beautiful landscapes in my dreams still to that day, and specifically in lucid dreams, that's one of the amazing things that you could do, that I've been doing recently. Some of the, I shall say, classics. When I had a lucid dream recently, I just thought, wow, I'm in Northern California right now, but I would really love to experience the Grand Canyon on a beautiful summer day when the sun sets, and just fly across those beautiful stones and soak up the energy, and then like teleporting yourself to another spot where there's green meadows and beautiful alp hills and goats on ranches, and you're just soaring through in between the hills and over the mountains. Those are beautiful experiences that you can create for yourself in lucid dreams, and that I like to create for myself a lot. It gives you almost like a mini vacation from your everyday life, and it enables you to experience something without having to travel, without having to spend money, without having to plan anything, and you wake up and you're back in your house. It's extremely convenient. So those are other benefits of lucid dreaming. One of the most compelling reasons to lucid dream for me were those mentioned psychological experiments that Robert Wagner conducted. And those are really up to you. Depending on what matters for you, you can seek answers to questions that your conscious mind cannot even make the answers of. To give an example, researchers have researched about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, and we're really just doing baby steps right now in terms of what we know, how the mind and brain works, and in terms of consciousness, philosophers and researchers, they don't even know where the origin of consciousness really takes place. In fact, I was so interested in that subject that I took a course in my university which was called Philosophy of Mind, and that's where I really realized, wow, researchers don't know nothing about consciousness and where it originates. And it's amazing that we always think, oh wow, we discover underwater worlds, we discover moon, the Mars, but we don't even know where our own consciousness originates and how it actually really functions. Is it just the physical, or is it just a non-physical? How is it connected? The best thing that researchers can do right now is a guess. So for me, I cannot say, oh, there's a soul, or there's a spirit, or there's none, because there's no ultimate proof. But I myself have anecdotal experience that makes me believe that there's something more than just the flesh and bone. And also there's more to dreaming, and specifically lucid dreaming, than just an illusion. If you ever familiarize yourself with hypnosis, you'll know that even though someone is just suggesting something, for example, it's very, very hot and you're very thirsty, it's just an illusion, right? You're not really thirsty, you're not really in the desert, and yet your body craves water so much that you can guzzle up 2 gallons of water, which you would never be able to do during, conscious life. And that's one example of how incredibly intricate and special human consciousness in the brain is. And I'm very interested in that topic. That's part of why I opened this channel. This is part of why I read a lot about these topics, or I shall say, watch a lot of videos, because that's actually more convenient. And lucid dreaming gives me personally a vehicle to explore things that are beyond my conscious mind. So, for example, sometimes in life, we are at the crossroads of a decision. And it's, for example, should I go to grad school, or should I just start working and start a career? And you could do like a pro and con list, and those lists, they could have 200 items, and if you're a very logical thinker, you could assign weights, and you can make up points, and you can think about what's best. But research has shown that your conscious mind, it's almost like a computer. If you have one computer, it only has so much capacity, but if you link the computer to other computers, which would symbolize your subconscious, all of a sudden you have access to so much more computing power and technology that you can solve way more complex problems, and you can access other information sources, like in a file sharing system or in a cloud service where you can store information and access information from the cloud that is also partially stored on other computers. Sorry if I'm being too technical, but I just recently moved to Silicon Valley, and that's kind of the first image that pops up as an analogy, I guess, for what I'm trying to explain for lucid dreaming. So when I lucid dream, or when I dream, and I basically put in a query or a question, a task, a quest for my subconscious mind, I feel I tap into some unknown territory. I feel like I tap into some kind of information source that I wouldn't be able to access during real life. One of those questions, for example, in the past has been, what is the purpose of my life? And that question is just so broad and then so specific to you and your life. I don't think there's one answer for everybody, or what is the purpose of life. That it's incredibly unbelievable what kind of freakishly personal, deciphered answers I've gotten to that question over the years, and I asked this question multiple times. I'll probably do another podcast or video about like one of those answers, since I can't believe that I haven't talked about my most amazing lucid dreams, which really a lot of them are related to the question, what's the purpose of my life? And those have been precognitive dreams. Those have been very anciently deciphered dreams that turn out to be so precise that it's just mind-boggling. But anyways, those are kinds of my thoughts on lucid dreaming and the benefits of lucid dreaming. I hope this wasn't too rambly, but I kind of like the long format, and I also like that it's focused on content rather than me presenting audio or audio-visually, I guess. And I would love to hear your feedback, how you like that podcast format. I apologize that there's probably a lot of background noise from my car, since I literally plan to do this, at least for now, in a format where I can just talk and record a podcast every day on my way back from work, which is a pretty long commute. But that way I can keep you posted. I can keep generating content because I don't want my channel to die, and I don't want to disappoint my subscribers either. So please submit all the feedback that you have. Obviously, I know there's a lot of things that I could tweak with the audio, and maybe I'll just try to use my better microphone for tomorrow. And don't forget to give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I can also recommend you to check out Robert Wagner. He is just amazing when it comes to lucid dreaming and way advanced. And I hope I can continue to do this format. Please be a little bit patient when I don't upload sometimes. I guarantee this channel will not die and there will be content coming. It's just that in terms of my professional life, there's been crazy changes, and I'm just trying to make everything work right now, and that's why it has taken a while. Anyways, until next week, stay lucid, stay aware, stay awesome, and I see you then. Bye bye.